Episode 60. I don't plan to cheat her. Serena's heart trembled. Staring at the ringing phone, Serena felt dazed. Lila. Jake. Reaching for the phone, Serena was still hesitant to pick up. A heart-wrenching pain suddenly broke her. Should she pick up? She did not dare to. She was afraid that she would hear those horrible sounds again, the panting and moaning that had bothered her for numerous days and nights. Should she hang up? But what if things were different? Too many things had happened differently this time around already. What if it were a different call? Pick up. Just try picking up. She had already been through the worst, hadn't she? When the ringing was about to stop, Serena picked up. Jake, please slow down. It was Lila's voice, mixed with a man's heavy breath, and the sound of flesh on flesh. Oh, Jake, that was so good. Serena felt like her heart was torn apart. The phone fell from her hand, and she could not stop herself from bursting into tears. She had known this already. Why did she have to pick up the phone? Why did she have to do this to herself again? She knew that this man did not love her, but she couldn't help making her heart vulnerable to him. Lying down, Serena put a blanket over her head and cried on top of her lungs. She had never despised herself so much before. All the wishful thinking had disappeared. She did not want to see herself like this ever again. Mr. Robinson, I have booked the air tickets, but... Miranda said hesitantly. But do you have to rush? It would be the same if we go back tomorrow. Jake sat on the couch with his legs crossed. Glancing at her, he slowly stood up and said without explanation, "Let's just go." Miranda felt a bit resentful. Her boss was a workaholic. Not only had he finished what should have taken more than a month in 28 days, but he also wanted to return in the middle of the night. Oh my God, what crimes had she committed in her previous lifetime for her to have a boss like this? However, when Jake was about to go out of the hotel, he got a call from Lila. "Jake, I am in my room. Could you come and help me? I feel terrible." Jake frowned but still asked, "What's wrong?" "I feel bad. So bad. Jake, I will wait for you in my room." Obviously annoyed, Jake was a bit impatient. However, Lila had always been a reasonable girl. She shouldn't call him for nothing. Jake thought about it, and then went upstairs to Lila's hotel room. He smelled alcohol the moment he entered the door. Lila threw herself at him, and then Jake immediately pushed her away. "Jake, everyone was trying to make me drink at the event. I feel so bad right now." Indeed, Lila had had too much to drink. She had definitely been an important reason for the success of the event. However, what does that have to do with asking him to come to her room? With tears in her eyes, Lila moaned again. "Please, Jake, please help me."
"That's enough!"
Jake pushed her away with a stern face, stepping to the side.
"I have other business to attend to. You rest well, and go to the airport yourself tomorrow."
Hearing his cold words, Lila immediately sobbed. "Jake, you were not like this. You did not treat me like this before. Why?"
"I am married."
"I don't care, Jake," Lila said, and threw herself at Jake again. She was wearing the dress she wore at the event, a low-cut bodycon dress. With the top half of her boobs out, Lila looked glamorous and seductive. Miranda, who had followed Jake, gasped. She had to admit that Lila looked amazing like this.
If she were a man, Miranda would probably take her right there, not to mention Jake. But obviously, Miranda had misjudged her boss. Jake's face became even more grim. He stepped back and said slowly, "Miranda, help her get sober."
I don't care. Jake, you said you would marry me. Have you forgotten?
Jake paused and said, "What I said was that if my family asked me to marry you, I would not refuse." Lila was delighted, but Jake immediately continued. "However, my grandpa asked me to marry a different woman." Jake recalled the shy little face, and his look became gentle. "She is great, and I don't plan to cheat on her." Then he quickly walked toward the elevator. Feeling desperate, Lila cried out loud. Miranda shuddered, feeling sympathy for Lila. As a woman, Miranda knew very well how hurtful Jake's words were. Seeing Lila's look, Miranda was even worried that she might take her own life. How heartless.
Miss Lila, get lost! Don't come close to me! You think I don't know? You also like him! My Jake!
Lila shoved Miranda.
Now you're here to laugh at me, right? Go away!
Miranda was filled with anger and gave up on the thought of helping her get sober. Gritting her teeth, Miranda said,
"You totally deserved that. A bitch is a bitch."
Miranda left without turning back. Lila leaned on the door, her makeup messy as tears ran down. Very soon, the influence of the alcohol took over and made her dizzy. In a trance, Lila suddenly felt a pair of hands moving up and down her body. She opened her eyes and only saw a vague silhouette. The man was tall, but she could not see his features clearly.
Jake?
Lila was a bit shocked, wanting to push the guy away. However, he carried her into the bed. Wanting to fight back, Lila somehow saw Jake's face in front of her.
Jake!
Lila threw her arms around the man holding her. No one noticed that Lila's phone was pressed against the bed, making an unexpected call.